All right. Well, I did not think it'd be this difficult. So if you watched my haul video yesterday, my big, massive Walmart haul that I had, you saw that I almost dropped the damn thing. But Possessor. This is one of the movies I've heard a lot of things about. This, The Call, and even The Beach House. I think I heard a lot of stuff. People saying, "Oh, you know." So yeah, this is directed by Brandon Cronenberg, David Cronenberg's son. I reviewed The Fly by David Cronenberg. I reviewed that weird, wacky, messed up movie Shivers by David Cronenberg. So this is Brandon Cronenberg, and he definitely learned from his daddy. I don't even know where to start with this film. This film starts out with this African American woman. You don't know it's a woman at first because all you see is cornrows. She sticks this thing in her head, and right away I'm like, yay! Ow! And she's turning this thing, and I'm like, is it gonna kill her? But then the very next scene, she's stabbing this guy, and then she's saying, take me out. And then she turns into Andrea Riseborough, who was in The Grudge movie last year, which was meh. And the thing here is that Andrea Riseborough plays Vaz. She plays Vaz, and she's this infiltrator, and she's going to be sent on this mission to take over the body of Colin, played by Christopher Abbott. And the job is to kill his girlfriend, kill Colin's girlfriend's father, played by Sean Bean. So Sean Bean's gonna die, which is not a surprise. And then shoot the girlfriend, and then shoot herself. They always end the mission by having them shoot themselves. And we see here at the beginning when she is the African American girl that she can't do it. And that's a plot point, because when it gets to that point where she finishes the job, she still can't do it, and that causes problems. It's a weird movie. This movie was released to theaters uncut. And it's brutal, man. There's some blood. Like I said, she sticks the thing in the head and blood comes out. There's a little blood. It's not like, but it's still, comes out. There's the scene towards the end of the film where you got Colin, so to speak, taking a butcher's knife, cleaver, and just killing the hell out of Rossi Sutherland, Michael, the husband, and just chopping the fuck out of him with it. Chops off part of the guy's hand, chops the hell out of his stomach, just, gnarly, just, if you want gore, this is a movie for you. If you like the gore, it's the movie for you. And I'm not sure you would qualify this. Like, if you're watching most of this film, you're like, where's the horror? This is more like a science fiction, jumping in people's bodies type thing. It doesn't really seem like horror. There's one scene, this scene, where Colin kind of goes inside his own mind and kind of has a little one-on-one type thing with Vaz, and they kind of go back and forth, and he smashes her face in, takes her face off, smashes her skull in, takes her face off, puts it on him, and sees her personal life. That's what this is. And that's how it leads him to the end of the film, where he confronts her husband, forcing her to kind of come through, and then we see that it's her that kills her. It might be her that kills her husband, because the very next scene has her being stabbed by her son, has Colin being stabbed by her son. And And then fires the gun, and we see that it's her firing the gun. Because whenever we're meant to see it's her point of view, it changes to her. So we know that it's her. We see that throughout the film. When she's in the shower, killing the mistress, stuff like that. That does lead me to think that maybe she didn't have a problem, doing that. Maybe at first, but maybe she had unfinished business. Maybe she's showing that her family is kind of a problem. She's not spending time with them, and she feels like she has to put on an act just to be around them, And there's a scene where she's having sex with her husband, and there's like no emotion from her at all. But in contrast, there is, and it's my favorite scene, and it's another sex scene, but it's not for the reasons that you think. It's a sex scene between Colin's body, and his girlfriend, Ava. And the contrast here is that it's Voss inside Colin's body. And it always, it's an interesting idea that, like, it's a woman inside a man's body, and she has to have sex with a woman like a man would. Women are, there's different physiological changes between men and women. Now all of a sudden she has a penis, and she's got to use that, and it's different. And what it would be like for a woman to experience a male ejaculation as opposed to maybe a man experiencing a female ejaculation, you wouldn't know. It's different. Believe me, it's different. And, what would it be like for a woman inside a man's body to feel that? That's the one scene in this film that made me kind of think, that's very interesting to think about. You know what I mean? Just like if you were a woman inside a man's body and you are having sex with the guy's girlfriend, how would it feel? What would it be like? Would it be weird? And the weirdest thing about this scene is that she actually seems to be more into this than she was with having sex with her own husband. And that kind of brings into the end when she kills them. And then it's revealed that her son was being controlled by her boss, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. And this was all to desensitize her so that she has no personal feelings anymore. So that she could take over for Jennifer Jason Leigh because she's getting too old. Even though I think maybe if they were going to do that, is how much younger is Andrea Riseborough compared to Jennifer Jason Leigh? Maybe have someone in her early 30s be the one to... But nothing against Andrea Riseborough. She has a great performance in this. As for... I'm beginning his name. Colin, whatever his name is. Christopher Abbott. Both wonderful performances. And for Christopher Abbott, I'm going to give the praise here because he not only has to play himself, but he has to play... someone else inside his head and kind of the emotions he has to have. It's really cool. And there's Rossif Sutherland, who was Francois in Timeline, which I will get around to doing that movie, to do a review of that movie eventually. But yeah, he was in Timeline. I saw him like, Francois! Because that's what I know him as. Jennifer Jason Leigh, of course. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Talk about a sex scene, let me tell you. This movie is confusing. And it took me maybe 45 minutes to try to figure out what I was going to say about this movie. But, yeah. Like I said, it was released to theaters uncut. I'm assuming this was the uncut version. So, it says R, though. There's graphic nudity in it too, so it's graphic, So what do I do? What kind of score do I give it? Because this is what I've been tussling with in my mind. How much did I enjoy it? I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't what I expected. When you see this, and you see Cronenberg, I thought it was gonna. There's some body horror. Obviously, it's Cronenberg. He took from his daddy very well. But I think I'll give it a 7. A 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable. It's not what you expect. It's gory, so you gotta give props to that. But yeah, it'll get a 7 out of 10 for me. So what are your thoughts on Possessor? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. We'll see you in the next one.